So I've gone and done the unthinkable. I've actually gone and bought a Seiko watch. Yeah, in 2025, Seiko isn't really known as one of the better value brands anymore, but for once it looks like we may have an outlier, one that is actually deserving of its retail price. I'll whip it open, show you what we've got, and kind of why I've been a bit more excited about this one for once. Yeah, it's been probably 2 years since I've bought a Seiko previously, and to be honest, it's been many more than that since I wore a Seiko with any level of regularity. And that's mainly because Seiko just decided to start pricing everything insane. And the Chinese manufacturers have been eating their lunch, making watches that are just straight up better, to be honest, for the same sort of money. But this one has a bit of a twist. Yeah, I purchased this one with my own money from Fraser Hart here in the UK, but I'll link it where I can in the description. I just bought it from the site that got it shipped to me the quickest. And here is the model name for this one, SRPL 93K1J. Shame their box is a little bit damaged, but yeah, this is surprisingly a Seiko 5, and you'll notice if you're familiar with Seiko, this is the old Seiko 5 logo. And that's because this is a reissue of a previous model, and a semi-famous one at that. Cool little red version of the logo they've got here. Lovely. Oh yes, absolutely no regrets already with this, unless the bezel's cockeyed, of course. And what we have here is the new reissue of the old Seiko 5 Gene Kranz model. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the space race, Gene Kranz was a really notable figure in the Apollo missions in the 1960s. He was the flight director for loads of those missions, so he really was in charge of a lot of stuff, and he was known for wearing basically the original version of this very Seiko. Now, I'll whack a quick photo of the original up on screen, and you'll notice that this new version is pretty faithful to the original. It certainly looks the same from a distance, but I have to say this is a pretty sexy piece of kit. Now, when I ordered this, my wife did say, oh, it looks like yet another Seiko, and admittedly, in some ways, it definitely does. It's got the very classic baton hands, the same sort of marker set and colour scheme as you get with loads of other Seikos. But this one definitely has some unique elements. It's not only got that historical connection, but it's also got quite a different bezel. Really like the bezel on this one. One advantage of this bezel is it's a smooth bezel, therefore bypassing Seiko's infamously poor bezel quality control, where the bezels are often misaligned. You don't have to worry about that with this one. You can perfectly position it, which is great. And also, one of the main reasons I wanted this watch, this thing is really pretty thin, especially if you discount the crystal. It's got a raised hardlex crystal there. So it isn't sapphire, unfortunately, but the rest of this case, way thinner than loads of other Seiko 5s. I'll give it a measure in a moment. Some of it could be it just looking thinner, but I have to say it does look pretty slim for a bezel model. So I think this should wear pretty well indeed. And something just about the proportions and styling of this one just looks much more like some of Seiko's higher end models. And the key really here, and the reason I was so excited to buy it, is it's not priced ridiculously like most historical reference Seikos. No, this one is basically priced exactly like tons of the other standard Seiko 5s, at least those ones at launch. I purchased this one for 400 quid on the dot. I think this is selling for like $440 in the US, for example, which is the same price as loads of the previous non-historically significant Seiko 5 models launched at. Only this one has much more of that legendary history behind it. And obviously with this one you get those modern materials, steel case here. What else have we got? 4R36 movement inside, which is okay. They've done a very good job of packing it into a slim case this time, I have to say. It's also got that domed hardlex. Not as good as domed sapphire when it comes to scratches, of course, but it does tend to be better when it comes to reflections. I mean, the crystal here looks great nonetheless, and it has a lot of that side warping. And this one is also a limited edition. I mean, it's not that limited. It's like 10,000 pieces or something. It's got a screw back as well. Can't be bothered to take that off now. And supposedly got a 10 bar water resistance with this. I think it should just be, yeah, push-pull crown on this. It does have some kind of elements of diver styling, but it's not really a dive watch. And the bracelet on this one, also maybe a fraction better than some of the other Seiko bracelets. It's actually got nice solid end links there. What looks like solid links throughout. They aren't playing any of Seiko's trickery this time. You know, where they disguise folded links as solid links. I don't think that's the case here. These look fairly solid to me. Clasp, not the best. Do get a couple of micro adjustments, but the links are already very small. So I think you're unlikely to get a bad fit with this one. Give you a nice close-up of that dial there. Definitely has some retro vibes about it. And I think we are one of the first independent videos on YouTube about this watch, after the authorized dealers, of course. I mean, those guys are never going to say anything bad about a watch they're selling, are they? Pretty good finishing. Seiko's never quite been on the level of some of these upcoming Chinese brands, but this certainly isn't bad. Definitely serviceable, I'd say. And I just get the feeling that this, at this price, it's just a straight up better value proposition than the vast majority of modern Seiko 5 watches. Gone are the days where you're spending 100 quid on a Seiko 5, unfortunately. And also gone are the days of huge discounts, at least in the UK. Loads of the modern Seiko models, you know, they launched 2019 for a similar price to this. And then maybe down like 75, 100 quid, but no more than that. It's not like they're 150 quid watches these days. And I can't help but think that if maybe the original wasn't a Seiko 5, so they didn't have to whack the badge on, they may have just charged you like 700 quid for this, like they have done with loads of their other historically significant models recently. They finally actually released one at an appropriate price, which is a price that I think loads of them just should have been from the start, but you know, they are trying to move up market as a brand, Seiko. So this is it on my 6¼ inch wrist, so I've got a pretty small arm. They say this is 38.2, but we'll measure this in just a second. Just have a bit of that kind of squat fit, I think, because it's got quite wide shoulders. Wears a little like the Seiko Mini Turtle. That used to be a pretty good watch, but they seem to have discontinued that one now, sadly. This also wears, yeah, pretty slim for a bezeled watch as well, really slim. So yeah, I do like the look at that. Whether it's too big for me, maybe a fraction for me, but I think for most people you won't have any problems at all with this one. I've always liked the deep, contrasty black dials that Seiko tends to use, especially when I can actually afford them. As for specific measurements, I think they did say it was 38.2 wide. Yeah, I've got exactly the same, 38.2. Lug to lug does look pretty short. About 44.6 millimeters there, and the thickness, even with the domed crystal, of only 12.4. If you take that away, it's about 10 millimeters. This one also comes in a like sunburst white silver-like color, which also looked good, but I went for the one here that's more faithful to the original. I believe the original one worn by the man himself, Gene Kranz, was the black one. Now, luminescence has always been a strength for Seiko watches on the lower end. You don't tend to get such good performance from the likes of Citizen, for example, or even Casio. So let's see how this one stacks up. It already looks pretty decent. And yeah, I have to say that is holding up very well indeed. Yeah, really, really good, and definitely usable loom. We had the little loom pip there as well, which I know loads of you like. So yeah, finally, in my opinion at least, a Seiko that makes sense, a Seiko 5 that's actually worth it, potentially. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Yeah, I just think it's nice to finally see one that isn't at the £1,000 plus mark, because I can't remember the last time I was excited about a Seiko. I'll link it below. Yeah, I would love to hear what you think.